are at the multipurpose hall, which is the tallying center for constituency, for Kitui Central constituency in Kitui County, where the results have just been tabulated, all the results from all the polling stations in this particular constituency. And from the numbers that I can give you, Lillian, as at now, is that the final results are in. We have Uhuru Aukot with 31 votes, Abdu Badida with 17, Jirongo with 5, Mwaura with 15, Kenyatta taking a majority of the votes with 8,163, Kaluyu 131, Raila Odinga 308. In spite of him having withdrawn from this race, there are 318 people who actually casted their ballot in his favor, and Nyaga getting 12 votes out of the total votes cast here, which is 8,682. Lillian, if you look at the number of registered voters in this particular constituency, Kitui Central, 70,769 people are registered to vote here, but only 8,682 people showed up to come and cast the ballot. This turnout, bringing the turnout to about 12.26% of the people who actually turned up to vote. This is particularly a very low turnout, I may say, compared to what was there in August, when we recorded about more than 80% of the turnout here, this being a NASA stronghold. Of course, you can understand with the boycott calls and the rallying call not to show up and vote, we recorded a turnout of 12%, which I can say is an improvement from what we have seen in Mwingi Central, where my colleague Shadrach Ilava was following closely the results there. And from what Ilava tells me is that Aukot actually garnered 29% in Mwingi, 29 votes in Mwingi Central, Dida getting 15, Jirongo 10, Mwaura getting 26, and Kenyatta again getting 5,656 in Mwingi Central, Kaluyu getting 37, Odinga getting 450 in that particular constituency, and Nyaga getting 11. The total number of people who turned up to vote in Mwingi Central being 6,264 against the total number of registered voters, 63,325. This making around 10% of turnout in Mwingi Central. So if you compare these results, you will see that the rallying call to boycott the election seemed to have gone in favor of the NASA leader here in this particular county, Kitui County, which has 8 constituencies, and we will be going round to see what the other constituencies, whether they have recorded a higher percentage, but from what we know from yesterday's turnout, the turnout was between 10 and 15%, I can say, Lillian, and we will be going round to see whether now they have the final results and bring those final results to you. Here at Multipurpose Hall, everything is ready, and we're just waiting for the Form 34B to be collated here so that we may give you the official and final Form 34B for the purposes that are required in studio, Lillian.
Faiza, once again, a very good morning to you. Kitui County having 8 constituencies. Do we know whether indeed polling, or rather polls, were conducted in all those constituencies?
Yes, Lillian, polls were conducted in all the 8 constituencies of Kitui County, save for some parts in Mwingi, where there were some skirmishes yesterday when the voting was happening, but police were quick to get in there and calm things down. So the voting proceeded, although there were just those little skirmishes here and there, but the voters turned up to vote, albeit that the turnout was very low, given that most of the people are either in the NASA, this being a NASA stronghold, are either in the NASA or they fear for their lives. So the turnout was really low in those areas. In all the 8 constituencies of Kitui County, we may say it was largely peaceful, but the turnout was low.
Faiza, as mentioned, this is a perceived NASA stronghold. Let's talk about malpractices. Yesterday, when we spoke to you earlier in the day, you spoke of a bus that had actually perished or fallen into a ditch while transporting the polling material to a particular polling station. What can you tell us about the voting exercise in general, and gauging from your scope of the area in terms of malpractices? What can you tell us?
Well, Lillian, about the bus that had an incident yesterday morning, indeed, some ballot material were delayed to get to the polling centers. One particular place we were at was at the Kitui Central Primary School, which is a center that had 7 polling stations. And by 6 o'clock, when they were opening the polling stations, only 2 could do that because most of the ballot material were in the bus that had an incident that morning because of the heavy rains. The bus had overturned. Some of the material was spoiled, but eventually by around let's say around 11-12 they were able to open the rest of the polling stations. The 5 polling stations that had not received materials in that particular center got their materials. What happened is that time was extended for the voters to be able to finish voting, and in one of those polling stations they actually finished the voting exercise close to 9 o'clock because of the extended time and the lateness of the material. We could see a register that had some smudges of mud and water, a testimony that actually there was an incident with the bus and the flooding in the area.
Thanks for that. That's Faiza Wanjiru in Kitui, and we will be monitoring things there as the day progresses.